NaruTalk, the Naruto ShipPodcast, is made possible through contributions from listeners like you. To help support the podcast and to earn exclusive rewards, head to www.patreon.com/NaruTalkPod. That's www.patreon.com/NaruTalkPod. Believe it!
Hey everyone, this is Naruto Uzumaki, and you're listening to NaruTalk. Believe it!
Hello everyone, welcome back to NaruTalk, the greatest podcast ever to be all about Naruto. I'm your host, Liam English, alone at the top of this week's episode because this week we actually have a very special episode. It is the first ever live recording of NaruTalk. We recorded at SUNY Purchase on November 8th, 2019 with the help of the Anime and Stand-Up Club here after a showing of the episodes that we'll be covering this week, which are 48, 49, and 50, which is the battle between Gaara and Rock Lee. It was really an incredible experience. A lot of people came out, and it was super awesome. They were all really supportive, and it was really just an amazing experience for all of us. So without any further ado, here is the very first ever live NaruTalk. We set? Looks like we are. All right. Yo, so first of all, everybody, welcome to the very first ever NaruTalk live show. If I can get, a little bit of applause, something. Thank you. Yeah, all right. So I'm your host and creator of this, podcast that we do, Liam English. And with me, as always, is my co-host, Morgan Williamson, whose birthday is today, by the way. Woo! Yeah, happy 19th birthday. Who you share it with the creator of Naruto, Masashi Kishimoto, which is crazy because Katie shares her birthday with Naruto. So just everybody here has Naruto-themed things in their life, I guess. Mozart's not on Naruto, Raj. I'm also, of course, joined by Katie Suderi, my other co-host. And, oh boy, this is going to be awkward. I should have done it in a different order. And Raj. Come on down, Raj. Who brought this, show off the headband on your arm.
Yeah, this is made by Ali and Heather. Wonderful.
Yes, homemade headbands. It's so good. Okay, so first of all, happy birthday, Morgan. Right off the bat.
Happy birthday, Morgan.
Yeah, how does it feel that your 19th birthday celebration is watching 3 episodes of Naruto?
Great.
Yeah? Is this what you pictured as a little kid? 19 years old in college, sitting in a room watching Naruto on the big screen?
For sure.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I had a mental breakdown watching those episodes. It's this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
I tried to put myself in perspective of 4-year-old Raj and going, when I'm 19, I'm gonna have a fucking jet.
Yeah.
No, I'm watching Naruto in front of 30 people.
I mean, it's as close to a jet as we can get, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure.
So, Morgan, for anybody here who has never listened to our podcast before, can you explain what it's about?
Why, yes, I can, and I'm sorry for my wonderfully scratchy voice. I'm dying and have the plague.
Purchase
so.
plague.
Purchase plague, you know how it be.
We listen or watch 2 to 4 episodes of Naruto every week. We do not watch filler, canon only. And it's 2 weeks and 2 normies, and we watch the episodes, and then we talk about it.
Yeah, you may notice that, so Raj and I both, knew Naruto before we started this show, and obviously, I'm a huge fan, that's why I started it, and yet Raj and I are the 2 that didn't particularly dress up, and these 2 are dressed as characters from Naruto, low-key.
And if you stay the whole time, you get to watch us fight as Sakura.
Are you guys gonna just fight to the death at the end?
Just straight up beat the shit out of each other.
Will.
That'd be entertaining.
Here's something funny that's happening right now. Right next door in the theater, the New Plays Now festival is happening, and one of the plays that I wrote is in it. So I'm my own direct competition. But I was standing outside, low key protesting the New Plays Now, just being like, yo, if you're trying to go to this, I promise you, I wrote this play. It's terrible. Come over here.
But see it tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Oh yeah, no, definitely see it tomorrow. It is actually good. But yeah.
Telling people it's
Yeah,
terrible,
it's good
just
tomorrow.
because.
Today they needed to warm up, But yeah, so for those of you that just came for the podcast and the show, this week we watched episodes 48, 49, and 50. And that's this super iconic fight in Naruto. It's Gaara versus Rock Lee. Yeah, which it's been building up to pretty much this entire time. Yeah, so we're just going to dive right in. We're just going to start Naruto talking about it as we do. So
the podcast, or the show, sorry, this is the podcast. The show opens with Hinata's blood being swept up in the arena while Shikamaru worries about Choji. Now, in the last 2 episodes we watched, these 2 people fought and this girl just got fucking destroyed.
Annihilated.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Like, emotionally, too. Like, she got bullied so fucking hard.
No, it was like a fourth of an episode of them fighting and then an episode and 3/4 of an episode of him bullying her.
Yeah, but then she kind of like got him back with her words. I don't know.
I know, but she's the one who's like dead, so like who won?
You know? Like she kind of like stood up.
Like
to him.
you can like I don't know if you guys noticed, Liam has like bulging muscles, right? This dude hits the gym like every fucking day, but that means nothing when someone has like a gun, you know? you can be fucking ripped as shit if someone's pulling out the Glock. That's it.
That's true. Yeah. So Shikamaru worries about his teammate Choji because the only remaining contestants are all really strong. Trembling with fear, Choji whines that he should forfeit, but his teacher and like his sensei Asuma bribes him with barbecue, saying that if he wins, they'll go out for all you can eat.
That's how I talk to the fucking children at the daycare center.
Yeah.
Like,
So Raj works at a daycare center.
I do, and these kids are just some of the most interesting little beings because I've never dealt with kids who are like so self-aware that they're like 3, so they can just really say wherever. Like, so this is one girl. She has the most creative imagination possible. I've never met someone so imaginative, but she's really specific with the things she like makes up in her head. So every time I approach her on the playground, it's like, "Oh, are you today or are you someone else?" and I went there yesterday and I was like, "Hey, are you?" And she says, "No, I'm not." I'm like, "Okay, who are you?" And just deadpan just goes, "I'm God today." I couldn't react to that. I'm God, and then I asked her, "What made you want to be God?" And she says, "I just felt like it. I just wanted to be God." I'm like, "What are you gonna do as God?" And she says, "I'm gonna balance." And it wasn't like she was on anything. She was on the ground, and
She's on some Thanos shit, bro.
Yeah, she just planted her feet in the ground and just stood there, and she's like, "I'm God." And then a bunch of other little kids saw this and started doing it too. So she started having disciples.
I hope she
She's
keeps
just
that
like
power.
powerful. Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna
I
balance
love
on
that.
flat ground because I'm God and I'm 3. Like,
That's incredible.
Never change.
That's genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, no, they're scary.
I would like to see the world that she created in your daycare.
She's so strange. Her favorite movie is Peter Pan, but she's never seen it. Which makes yeah.
Okay.
She wants to be referred to as Tinkerbell or her real name, but you gotta like gamble like 50-50 because she get pissed if you don't call the wrong name. Yeah.
So, Ino, Choji's female teammate, considers the cheap shot of appealing to Choji's appetite, while Shikamaru notes that Asuma, so he tells Choji that he'll intervene if the match gets ugly, but in the last fight when the girl was getting beaten up, Asuma was the only sensei who didn't step in to help, so it's like...
It's on smoke
like,
break
will you?
24/7.
Yeah,
He just
so-
doesn't want to be there.
Exactly. Still, Asuma's words successfully rile up Choji, who cries out in exuberance at the prospect of an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Exuberance.
I've never related to anything more in my life.
Would you go up against Gaara for an all-you-can-eat buffet?
It depends on. Yeah.
Because like worst case scenario, you die, but like if you were to win.
Yeah, not if it's a
Buffet.
D-Hall buffet, though.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't know. People show on deal all the time. I'm just numb to it.
Yeah.
I go there and I'm kind of just not an I'm empty vessel, no eyes. There's no
Yeah.
spirit in me. I'm just there to walk around and just.
Yeah.
But like you
swallow
wouldn't fight Gaara
everything.
for that. You
I would fight
Gaara
anyone for
nothingness.
for
No, but
something.
I think
'Cause-
Raj is kind of pretty numb to it. The other day, he walked to the table with one, like, chicken wing on his plate. Just one.
My eating habits are strange. It's either one chicken wing or like 6 honey buns in a row. It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, but seriously, thank God the Hub has honey buns now. That's
no.
like a game changer in my entire college
Because
experience.
like you get so gross with the food, like you think something hits for a while, and then it just slowly you start to hate it.
Yeah, yeah.
So then you can always turn to like donuts or the honey buns.
Oh, yeah. Across the arena, Gaara shakes with bloodlust, stirred up by the previous fight. Kankuro wonders about Neji's abilities, and so he goes over to Naruto to try and like get the lowdown on what the guy's all about.
Like they're cool. Like,
Yeah.
Like they didn't just try to like kill each other.
Yeah,
and get upset
exactly,
together.
yeah.
Fucking
He's just like, yo,
weirdos.
bro, can you give me some info? But Naruto's just like, yeah, I can tell you all about Neji. I'm gonna beat him up. It's not helpful.
It's
in the
not good.
slightest.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Yeah, but Naruto's boisterous attitude does it kind of charms Kankuro, and he's like, oh, you know, kid, I kind of like you. And Naruto goes, well, I don't like you, just straight up.
Honestly, honesty is
It's maybe the funniest line delivery that Naruto has in the entire show.
The fact that Naruto just hates Neji just because of Hinata, though, made me so happy.
Oh yeah, that is really sweet.
So canonically, we both me and Liam didn't like Hinata a lot. We thought she was just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But then now we doing the podcast, Katie is like in love with Hinata. She resonates with this character so much.
Katie and I are Hinata stans. We're like,
So
go
cute.
Hinata, yes,
And
please.
I know, yeah. All the
Yeah.
time. If you
I'm
listen
turned
to the
around though.
episodes-
She's honestly the best.
Yeah, no, yeah. The more you talk about this show, the more you realize Hinata and Sakura are the only ones who have anything going on upstairs. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we know that the only reason Sakura has anything going on upstairs is
Because of her giant forehead. Yeah.
It's bigger brain. It's just how it equals.
It's true, it's true. Hayate prepares the crowd for the next match to begin, and Guy cheerfully declares that Lee will surely be picked this time. But, unlike in every other match, Lee is like, oh no, I don't want to be picked. I've waited too long.
He
Which
just
is,
seemed like he was
Doesn't
being an
make
angsty
any
teen. Like he was
sense.
like trying to rebel against Guy who was excited with him, and he was like, no, actually, I
Yeah.
don't want to be picked.
yeah, everyone's confused until the next names show. Although before they even like are presented, Gaara just like turns into a cloud of smoke and then appears in the arena. And when the names are shown, Lee is like, oh, fuck yeah, I actually did want to be picked. This was all reverse psychology.
He's just so fucking. I love Lee so much. He's my favorite fucking character.
My
He's an
favorite
absolute
He's
goon.
just kicking there. He's like, yes, I did want it. It was a lie.
Yeah, and
I was
while,
lying all along.
while he's saying that, Sakura is like, bro, who are you trying to fool? Like, no one is here
No
for
one
you to.
cares.
Yeah, exactly. And Guy leans over and he's like, Lee, I have to give you a piece of important advice. And then they get all close, and Guy's just like, look out for his gourd. There's something weird about it. Which isn't advice,
No,
to be clear.
at all.
It's just saying he has a gourd on his back, which everyone can already see.
He was taking notes the whole time. He's like, yes, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Sensei.
So Lee
Like,
whips
what
out
are
his
you writing
notebook.
down?
Yeah, and Guy's like, Lee, don't take notes. You're gonna be in a fight.
Even better advice.
Yeah, he writes that down too.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly, yeah. Kakashi and Sakura worry about the well-being of the bushy-browed Genin as he leaps into the arena with immense vigor, commanded forth by his identical master. Looking on, Kankuro and Tamari, the latter of which is concerned because Lee, in an earlier episode, kicked Tamari's fan, and she blocked it, and she's like, oh, this kid has, like, he's fast, but he's actually got no power. But Naruto yells out, this is the second funniest line delivery, he goes, wrong.
Out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Did they like, I feel like maybe they needed him to say wrong, but Miley had already recorded for that day, so they just went through another sentence and took out her saying wrong and just like threw it in.
We're so weirdly
Sound
animated. It just
effect.
pops in.
Yeah. Well, so this episode, the first one is really well animated, except Naruto,
Yeah.
who I feel like just looks ridiculous in every scene he's in.
Yeah.
Like they knew that he's the weakest part of the show, so they're trying to make a good episode, so they're just trying to downplay him. Below, Lee suddenly catches Gaara's gourd's stopper. Like, we don't actually know what he catches at first, but it's Gaara sent like the cork forward, and because he like can't wait for the match to start.
I hate the word gourd. I hate that you're gonna say it a million
I'm gonna
more
say
times.
gourd. I'm gonna say
I'm sick of it already.
gourd and sand about 1,000 times. So if you don't like those
I
words,
feel like
like
Anakin in this bitch, bro.
yeah,
Fuck
exactly,
sand.
exactly.
I fucking hate sand. Sand is like the worst thing to ever exist. At the daycare, I constantly
sand
get
too.
this. Okay, I had to start wearing my slides to work because kids know I hate sand. They're really public about how I hate sand.
Well,
so
they do have the knowledge of God on their side.
Truly. So what they do is they run up to me. They're like, "Hey, Raj, hey." I'm like, "Hi," and they're like, "Here you go," and they'll just pour sand in my shoe.
Oh, that's awful.
Like, why? Why would you do that?
Sand is
You
like the
fucking
worst
weirdo.
thing.
No, it's gross. I when I come home, I just kind of put my shoe in the trash can, just like laying on it, and you just hear like little tapping because there's still sand in my shoe. I'm
Right,
still
right.
dealing with this.
Bro, imagine how much sand Lee's gonna have in his shoes for the rest of forever.
Oh, that sucks.
the
Yeah, no, there's
worst.
still like
The
sand in my
ultimate
bags.
worst,
For,
He's definitely gonna have sand in his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the worst feeling. If you've ever been to the beach and like face planted, I do it regularly. And you just get like tiny little grains of sand in your mouth and you chew them forever and they're just there. Like, have they done
chew
that to
them?
you yet? Have they made you eat sand?
Actually, there's a they haven't made me eat sand, but there's this kid who's really into the reverse psychology thing. If you tell him not to do it, he'll just do it. So
I don't think that's reverse
That's not-
psychology. I think
Well-
that's just being disobedient.
well, he's being a dick, is what he's
Yeah,
being.
yeah, yeah.
So he doesn't have teeth except for the the 4 fangs that you get on like the corners. So I don't know how they're all like core black. Like he's killing his teeth. But
Scary.
he picked up sand, and he just looked me in the eye for a second. I was like, don't do it. Please don't do it. I know what you're going to do. And he just goes, he lifts his hand and just starts pouring it into his mouth. It's just like a hole there, and he's just swallowing it. So I grab my shoulder, I'm like, stop! You don't. What are you doing? That's so gross. And he's like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep going. And like a vacuum, he slams his head into the fucking sand, starts sucking it up until the teacher had to run up and grab him physically, lift him up, and was like, stop! Why? What do you get from this? And he just can't stop laughing. Kids don't give a shit. As long as you don't acknowledge what they're doing, they're like immortal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
They can eat so much sand.
But have you ever done it? You ever like put your
Have I
face-
ever eaten sand with my face in until an adult needed to lift me up? I can't say I
Happened to me
have.
often as a kid, but
Right.
I used to. I don't know. I was a fucking dumbass as a kid.
Sure.
I thought the best way to eat nerds, which is the tiny little candy you'd get, is by just throwing them all over your carpet and just kind of sucking them up like a vacuum.
On your wait. So not on your hardwood floor, not on your tile, but on your carpet.
No, you get like
Oh,
the
is that on the
texture because you can like pull them up. It's like
Get the texture.
it's like eating cup noodles. You know, it's kind of like sucking upward and then like it pops out. It's just like that. It's like finding little. It's like Gargamel looking for Smurfs in the
Yeah.
forest. It's
You're
like
looking for
that.
nerds in your carpet.
Yeah, exactly. On like a micro level, it's probably terrifying for them.
Okay,
Yeah.
but, like regular carpeting, like this carpeting, or like shag carpeting.
Oh, shag carpeting.
Oh
Well, of
my
course.
God.
My parents only have the
Okay.
best of
So
shag
Right, right.
carpeting.
Fuzz in your mouth.
Oh my God.
Yeah, part of
That
me,
was a part of the fun.
exactly. Part of me is thinking that Raj hates nerds. He just loves dirt and sand, and he was getting a lot of it from the shag carpet.
Well, I do like dirt.
Yeah. So Lee immediately charges towards his opponent, spinning into a leaf hurricane kick, which Gaara blocks with a wall of sand. Then the sand rises up and dives towards Lee, who flips back with like a ton of backflips, narrowly avoiding the crushing blow.
It looked a little like as good as the animation does. That looked absurd. He was just
the
like
backflip?
flipping in the same like area.
No, but people do that in real life.
Yeah. Do you guys?
It's like in motion in one.
Well, there's
in the
Air, like not going up or down.
Yeah, there's
Stuck in
the
the
kid on
nuts?
our
What?
campus who walks around barefoot all the time with like, and you'll see him shirtless if it's snowing outside, and you can catch them outside the freshman dorm buildings every once in a while doing backflips. It's him and his disciples.
There's so many names for these people. It's they're so interesting. They're so ripped, so buff, and they use their like. They use
you know,
use
they're
the
jacked,
most chaotic ways
But they use their
possible.
power for not even evil, just for bullshit.
Just for bullshit. They're just flipping everywhere you go. Why are you flipping? Honestly, if they had to go to the town over, do you think they flipped like their way through like
To
the
White
back?
Plains?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, they never wait for the loop, bro.
No, they're running. The beginning of Spider-Man 1 where you have to catch the bus, but they let the bus go.
Yeah.
Just like
Of
that.
course they do, so they can flip after it. Gaara stands completely still as the sand recedes into the gourd. There it is again.
Gourd.
On his back, and the onlooking ninja are amazed by the red-headed Genin's unusual technique. And Shino is terrified because in the Forest of Death, he saw Gaara just straight up murder someone with the sand. So he knows like what he's capable of.
Would you guys agree Gaara is the most normal-looking person in this show?
Normal looking?
What?
Okay.
Normal?
Okay, look, no, but
eyebrows.
really think about it. Okay, so if you put them all in real life, right? Gaara's just a dude with red hair and makeup. You got fucking.
He looks like
Naruto with
Gerard
whiskers.
Way.
I've already
Well,
made
literally
that
Gerard
joke.
Way.
I've already made that joke.
Well, yeah.
But Gerard Way is not a normal-looking person, and I love him dearly. All you emos out there, I know I get it.
Sakura
But Gerard
looks
Way,
way
like,
more
birthed
normal
all
than
that
that.
look.
So much more. I'm literally Sakura
Yeah, she
right
looks
now.
like Sakura.
Yeah, that
This
is
is
true.
not the crazy outfit.
No,
Are you saying I'm weird? Are you saying
I'm not
that
saying. Oh, I'm saying you are a little weird, a little strange. But like, if you took Naruto, whiskers on the face, if you saw Lee walking around the hallway, you would have been like, "Oh, I'm gonna turn the other side of the."
Oh yeah, no, most definitely.
But Gaara too.
I feel
Well, I would want to be
terrified.
friends with Gaara, you know.
Even though he has a gourd on his back?
Well, Gaara, that
You'd be looking at a gourd 24 hours a day.
that's an icebreaker. Hey, buddy, what's the deal?
And then he's just gonna stare at you. And be
Yeah, I'll kill you with my sand.
Well, I'd rather look at that than the dude with the bushy ass eyebrows. Just like, I
Whoa.
can't look at that.
Why?
Don't
Okay.
be rude.
It's not about you know when you notice something on someone's face and once you point it out, you kind of can't look at any other place but that one part. If I notice his eyebrows, he's gonna be like, my eyes are here, Raj. Stop looking up. It's like, no, dude. Fuck.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know.
Look,
Look, I don't know.
You guys
What
just
do you-
aren't understanding this. I'll cosplay Gaara. I'll look normal.
You'll shave off your eyebrows and do
Dye your hair
purple
red.
eyeliner.
Oh my God,
Right?
yeah.
Fucking red.
You so would.
Bro, Shikamaru's just a dude with a ponytail. How are you gonna tell me that Gaara's the most normal-looking motherfucker?
Okay, all right, Shikamaru valid, but he's just like smoking cigarettes all the time.
Yeah,
He doesn't give a
exactly.
fuck.
He's cool as hell.
He's just chilling. He's just vibing.
So Lee recognizes that penetrating Gaara's defense is going to be incredibly difficult, but he's like completely unshaken. Still, Gaara's sand spews forth, and even though Lee launches like a lightning-fast barrage of blows, every single one is blocked without Gaara even lifting a finger. Lee attempts to strengthen his attacks. He like whips out a kunai, but it's ineffective again. And Gaara counters his attacks with an avalanche of sand. And now he does another set of rolls away. And he leaps into the air and throws some shuriken at Gaara, but they're blocked too.
Have ninja tools been effective ever? Honestly,
I'm really
ever.
trying to think. I mean, like, this is a show about people
Tenten's
with
whole gimmick was ninja tools, and she got her back like
That was
shattered.
fucking ridiculous.
Just destroyed.
You cannot go to a fight against someone with superpowers with a knife and
You
think
really
that you're gonna
can't.
win. Naruto is amazed at how well Gaara controls the sand, but Kankuro explains that Gaara isn't actually doing anything. The sand, it's like an autonomous defense. It acts without him even thinking, which is why Gaara's never had a single scratch on him.
Why is he snitching? I don't get
Kankuro?
that.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, okay, so here's what I think. I think Kankuro spends a lot of time with just his siblings, Gaara and Tamari.
Yeah.
And so he's like seeing all these kids and he's like, I know they're supposed to be my enemy, but I don't have any friends and now's my chance.
I just think when it comes, because the whole point of these episodes is that everyone's always going like, I was gonna save this move when I fought this person, but I
Right,
guess I
right.
gotta do it. But here's Kankuro just going, yeah, here's his best moves. I'm gonna just tell
Yeah,
you.
I know.
I'm gonna just say fuck it.
So Lee considers his next move and Gaara baits him forth, lustfully wishing for more bloodshed.
Weirdo.
Are we still recording? Okay,
Liam's
cool.
dad.
Yeah, Liam's dad. So Gaara's sand fires forth, and when Lee attempts to avoid it by jumping, it grabs his leg and swings him around violently, slamming him into a wall.
This scene looks so fucking good.
Yeah.
That was some great animation.
It was solid.
Yeah.
But Gaara's a bitch. so
Gaara's
it
a
made me-
bitch.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Lee falls to the ground and rolls to the side just before being hit by another pillar of sand, and he manages to run around and avoid all of Gaara's attacks and actually go up to punch him more, but again, Gaara's protected. Like, there's no hope. Above, Sakura wonders why Lee is only using taijutsu, which is their like hand-to-hand, real-world kind of punching attacks, because it's obviously ineffective instead of getting some distance and using some magic powers, you know, as people do in this show. But Guy reveals that Lee doesn't have that option. He has no ninjutsu or genjutsu at all.
I just thought it was so funny the way he worded it because he just goes, Lee has no talent whatsoever. And it was just like,
He is
well,
useless.
All right.
Just the worst.
Yeah, so Lee struggles to evade as Gaara's sand pursues him. After a series of backflips, Lee trips over the sand on the ground when he tries to land, and it rears up to crush him, slamming down with immense force. Luckily, Lee has managed to leap high into the air, avoiding the blow, and he lands on the giant hand sculptures on the far side of the arena, while Gaara just sort of, you know, gives him a dirty look. Because that's, you know, if I'm not saying what Gaara's doing, he's probably standing in the corner sulking.
He's just angry.
Yeah,
He's
that's a safe
so
bet.
fucking
Yeah.
angry. I never got that like just being angry for more than like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible for me.
Yeah.
But some people just like. There's a song called 30 Hours by Kanye where the whole story is that he's just so angry he drove 30 hours to go beat someone's ass.
Right, right.
How do you do that?
Yeah, I know.
How the fuck are you angry for 30
I
straight
think
hours?
You get into the car high and angry as fuck. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You drive for about 2 hours.
I mean,
then you
you
get hungry.
get committed at some
you
point.
pull over. You go to, you know, like Popeyes or something.
No, you gotta go to an ash establishment, like a place where there's like, oh fuck, there's only like a Checkers here.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just so angry.
But the thing is,
Oh,
all I'm saying is
fuck
like,
yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
I'd get in mad and hype as hell to beat someone's ass, and then 2 hours later, I'd get a little hungry, eat for like 20 minutes, and then be like, all right, you know
yeah,
what?
no, I like to snack after I beat someone's ass.
Yeah, I'm saying like for 30 hours
way
to drive.
before.
I'm saying way before. I'm
Way
saying
before
2
you
hours
get
into that
there.
car ride, I'd be out.
So the idea of
Eating
him.
and then going home.
Being like, yeah, that was a fun drive.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
drive
No,
really far
30
for bad
hours to
food
go
and then
beat
home.
someone's ass. That's
I'd do
powerful.
that.
I would do that. I've been telling everyone we should go take a road trip, and I think well, Evan has this one person. So my friend Evan, he has this one guy who he really fucking hates in Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told him, Evan, we could beat the shit out of anyone, no limits. I will go and fight someone. He's like, Raj, there's this one guy in Rhode Island. I'm not going to tell you what he's done or who he is,
Right.
but just know he deserves to get his ass beat. So now there's just some random guy I don't know for no reason. And the only time he's ever going to meet me is when my fist makes contact with his face.
Wow.
And I just can't wait. So when I tell you guys, if I disappear and I say, me and Evan are going to go take a road trip to Rhode Island, I'm coming back with a charge. Like, the cops are going to follow me across state lines.
How far away is Rhode Island?
Well, I don't know geography. I thought Rhode Island was 20 minutes away from here, so I really don't know.
I'll be honest with you. I also thought it was 20 minutes away
Well,
from
no,
here. Are
it's,
you telling me it's not?
Family Guy's fault, because Family Guy, they're in Rhode Island. They're always
Yeah,
like, oh,
they're
we're going to New
everywhere all
York
the
real
time.
quick. So I just
Damn.
thought they were real.
I wish we could just do
right
a
next to them.
cutaway and then be in Rhode Island, beat this kid's ass, then come back here.
Rhode
That's what
Island
I'm
is like-
saying.
Like 2.5 hours away.
All right,
Is it?
Still less than 30.
That's still less
I
than
feel like
that.
it's doable. Guy finishes his explanation of Lee's moveset to Sakura, noting that while most would consider Lee's taijutsu exclusivity a disadvantage, Lee has turned it into his greatest strength by completely ignoring the other two and becoming the strongest taijutsu user in the world. With this, Guy commands Lee to remove his leg weights, deeming this fight an exception to the rule that he can only take them off if he's defending someone precious.
Me and Liam started holding hands.
Oh, yeah. No, Raj and I had to, huddle up because we knew what was coming.
Okay.
The thumbs up and just like, you can take them off was incredible.
Guy is so well animated,
Yeah.
I think.
It was weird. You can do it. Really? And I was like, fuck, what's going to happen?
I know,
Yeah.
and
And
then
then he pulls down his leg warmers, takes off his leg weights. We're like, oh.
well, so
Alright.
yeah, well, basically everybody watching is like, okay, so you had some leg weights, big whoop. Then he drops them, and the entire ground fucking explodes because these things. Yeah, they were
so heavy.
probably hundreds of pounds. It's a cartoon, but
How big is this arena? Because the past 5 matches,
it changes every shot.
they've
exploded
exploded the
the
ground
ground.
a million times. There's blood and bodies everywhere.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think the background characters who had to fight, not the main cast, are still on the ground. They never got a medic scene or anything.
Oh, yeah, no,
So
most
they're just
definitely.
passed out there somewhere.
But also, depending on the angle, I feel like in Neji and Hinata's fight, they were taking up the entire arena.
Yeah.
And in this, Lee's doing 50. He's doing enough
He's in
backflips
the
to get to
air.
White Plains. It's crazy. He's all over the fucking place.
But they're always just right in front of that statue.
Yeah,
doing the thing.
exactly.
So how is it possible that there's? I
Yeah,
don't know.
well, I'll tell you what, it just doesn't make any sense. Guy commands his people forth, and Lee, no longer restrained by the leg weights, rockets forth so fast that nobody can even see him. He appears behind Gaara and punches so fast that the sand still manages to redirect it, but just barely. And he continues to flash around to various points at such a pace that again, they're not quite hitting, but the sand is clearly struggling to keep up. Finally, Lee appears above Gaara's head and slams down with a kick, just pummeling him, and it actually cuts his cheek, which apparently is totally unheard of for Gaara.
yeah, no one's done that.
Yeah. Everybody looks on in wonder, and Lee runs forward for another assault. This time, Gaara commands a wave of sand towards him, but Lee avoids it with ease, jabbing at Gaara from so many directions so quickly that he can't predict when Lee finally unleashes his strongest punch, which sends Gaara across the battlefield. Sand pours from Gaara's gourd as he struggles to his feet, and it seems like his face is chipping off. Because he's standing up and he's looking down, and we just see little chips coming off of his face, and then he looks up, and it's his half of his face is made out of sand, and just his mouth is out, and he's smiling like the weirdest motherfucker you ever
so
seen.
creepy.
Anytime you ever see Gaara,
Uh-huh.
he's emotionless.
Right.
He's just the fucking guy liner and his edgy ass
Guy liner.
experience of a human being.
Yeah.
But there's no expression on his face. He's literally just
Well,
straight face, nothing.
That's his thing. So Konkuro's his older brother, and he's a puppet master.
Yeah.
So I guess being a puppeteer is in the family. So instead of having a puppet, he became a puppet. He's kind of soulless. And then scenes where he's doing he's just on the ground. He's just
I know, I was gonna say.
stagnant. He's just a puppet.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Lee even punching him that one time was a big deal because Gaara hadn't moved at all up until that point. Konkuro and Tamari, his older siblings, they recognize that this expression means bad news bears because basically Gaara has this inner demon that's starting to awaken. Naruto, he wonders if Gaara is made out of sand. He's like, what the fuck is going on? This is very inconsistent. And Konkuro is like, no. The sand is he's wrapping it around himself to make armor.
It's gotta feel so uncomfortable.
Dude,
No.
talk about sand in your shoes. It's sand
Oh
up
my
in
gosh.
everything.
That's
The worst.
I didn't
the
even
worst.
think about that. That sounds awful.
And I wonder how deep does the sand go into his ears?
He needs earplugs.
Oh,
Yeah,
stop.
because I mean he doesn't want.
Does he have
Guys.
ears? Have we seen his ears?
Gaara?
Maybe it's just hair.
I do believe he has.
I think he has ears.
I think we've seen his ears, but again,
I can't confirm nor deny.
yeah, I don't even know what side of the country Rhode Island is on. I
Yeah.
definitely don't know.
There's a lot of things we have gaps on.
Yeah. So Naruto wonders if there's any way to defeat Gaara since he's, wrapped in armor, but basically the entire armor is a weak point because it takes an insane amount of energy to maintain it. To counteract the sand surrounding Gaara on the ground, Lee unwraps his bandages and prepares to unleash the primary lotus.
This guy's just gonna end up stripping. Like eventually, he's just slowly taking off everything.
Yeah. I know he
First
already
the
lost the leg
weights.
warmers.
He kept the leg warmers, just the leg weights.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
The
yeah.
weights are gone.
You can't have
Bandages
calves.
coming off.
You're very
So
right.
dangerous.
Yeah. And how's he gonna do his jazzercise after the match if he's not wearing leg warmers?
Why did we let leg warmers happen? They look so ass.
Don't even, Raj.
Are you gonna defend leg warmers?
Raj, I
No
fucking
fucking
I have
Wait,
leg
wait.
warmers on right now.
Are
He
you?
is wearing leg warmers.
Bullshit! You guys are so weird.
Can you guys explain leg warmers to me?
Okay.
Oh, my
Have you
mom's
ever had-
also.
Katie's mom is also wearing leg warmers.
Have you ever had cold legs?
Well, no, I'm like
Because then you
I'm like
don't have
fucking
legs.
Tarzan. My body hair keeps me like hot
Okay,
24/7.
so essentially you were born with leg warmers on, so you were.
That's just natural born
Always
talent.
wearing
I can't
Okay,
be blamed for
well,
that.
We just can't be as good as you, Raj. So we have.
We're
to
having the
them.
fucking Neji debate. Some people are born geniuses. Their body hair keeps them warm.
We are like Lee. We're fighting for our leg warmers.
Yeah, this is their training.
Fucking
So Lee runs around Gaara at like cyclonic speeds to confuse.
Cyclonic?
Yeah, dude, nice word,
what
right?
is what?
Is that
Like
a word?
a cyclone.
That's not a real
fast.
word.
Yeah, it actually may not be, but I think it
That's
is.
like a cyclone. It makes sense.
Cyclonic.
I got it.
Cyclonic makes sense, right? Like a cyclone. Yeah. And so Gaara doesn't know where he's gonna come from. Then he kicks up from the ground inside of Gaara's sand circle, launching him into the air. But since Gaara is wrapped in sand, he's really heavy, so he doesn't fly up in one hit like like his opponent usually do when he does this, right? Doesn't matter.
You can say
I can say cyclonic, but I can't say usual. Yes, exactly.
pick and choose.
But Lee does this thing where he like kicks up into the air higher and higher, so it's almost like they're flying.
Gar's blocking each of those kicks.
Yeah, but he's still punching.
Yeah, yeah, he's still
kicking
flying
higher.
up.
I went on like you know how sometimes you like zone out into Instagram, your discovery page?
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw, apparently this is like a real thing. It's like mixed martial arts kicks with fucking parkour, and people just
Yeah.
kick around
That
and
just
like.
sounds like white people doing white
Oh yeah,
shit.
yeah, no, it's the most white people shit I've ever seen, but it's, I mean,
Yeah.
fucking does
No, because if
that?
you're like bored in like the Midwest, what are you gonna do? Like I would.
yeah,
do
you're gonna
parkour.
kick into parkour. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to get around to all the chickens and shit, when you're on the farm. The strain on Lee's body is evident, and he winces in pain while Guy closes his eyes to pray. Still, Lee successfully wraps Gaara's body in bandages and completes the primary lotus, pile driving his enemy into the ground with absurd power.
That's like what another. That's the second pile drive the show has seen.
Like
no.
we've ever seen?
No, I think it's like. I think we've seen.
Yeah,
I
we
think
get-
We've seen a
like
few,
3.
yeah.
Yeah,
so-
We've seen 3.
We get a pile
you guys-
drive, not all from Lee, but we get a pile drive like once every 5 episodes.
I love the
Yeah.
pile drive move. It's used so because like their body rattles and shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like so impactful.
It's a good way to show like a powerful move without having to animate a powerful move, Like just the idea of a pile driver is like, oh yeah, that probably hit hard. We don't
Yeah.
have to
We
show
don't, we
it.
don't have
Yeah.
to dig deeper.
Cracks cover Gaara's body as it rests in the crater created by Lee's move, and Hayate approaches to end the match, only for the shell to crumble and reveal that Gaara isn't inside.
There's a metaphor there somewhere.
Yeah, we're
That
all
Gar
in.
is just a shell of a human and that he's fucking.
Oh.
There you go, an
Yeah,
empty
see?
vessel.
Yeah.
Whoa, damn, that's.
Some deep shit.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what you're gonna find when you watch episode 48 of Naruto.
Life changing.
Yeah, but moving on to episode 49, Kakashi explains that while Guy's eyes were closed in prayer and Lee's eyes were closed in pain, Gaara substituted out for a sand decoy.
Such a bitch.
Yeah, even his moves are obnoxious.
No, I like how so every ninja village has like their own like adapted way of substituting. So like leaf people use tree logs, like rain people use snow bunnies. Gaara just uses a sand vessel of himself.
Yeah, which
That's
is
what they
cool
do.
as hell.
It's cool. It just seems like way more of an extra waste
Well,
than like a tree log.
I like to think about the people whose eyes weren't closed at that moment when, like, I guess the back of his armor just opened and he just kind of, like, dropped down to the
like he
ground
just
and, like,
fucking
rolled over.
like a cocoon. Like he just like became a butterfly.
Have you ever seen the show, like, Magicians Exposed or something? Where
can't
it was
say I
a
have.
masked magician, and he used to reveal, or like Magician Secrets. He used to reveal, like, all of like the really like crazy tricks that people would do. He used to reveal how they did that.
Yeah.
Against like
So-
Magician's Code.
Oh, hell yeah. He's out of the
Oh.
Magician's
He literally-
Alliance.
And then
Top
that's why he
5
was
FBI
masked,
most
because He
wanted.
was like a really famous magician that was gonna reveal them, and then he got like canceled.
He got hunted
But
down
like
by
I used to watch
magicians.
the show
Oh.
regularly, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
Because he literally shows you what you don't see.
Oh,
so
shit,
in my
that is
brain,
actually
I
pretty
imagine
sick.
everybody's like, oh, that was a weird trick. that he
Oh,
just-
wow, yeah.
okay."
We can
But
go.
everybody else is like, where did he go?
Yeah, they would have explained it, but then everybody there would have been kicked out
Yeah.
of the Magician's
I
Alliance.
would love to use I don't know, like how on like magic shit.
Uh-huh.
Nick got me thinking about it. Nick Astor, but shout out other Nick, love you, buddy. But
We know
smoke bombs.
a lot of Nicks.
I would just love to have smoke bombs casually.
Yeah.
But just like I don't want to use them for big entrances, but rather like I'll get up from my table at deal. I'll be like, I'm gonna go get more food, guys, and then just use it, go.
To get another single chicken wing.
Single chicken wing.
So the real Gaara rises from the sand behind Lee in the arena, and he's like laughing maniacally with cracks all over his face. Konkuro and Tamari, now they're like, oh shit, we thought the demon was awoked before, but now this shit is way waked.
That's such a weird way to like.
Way waked.
I mean, referring to it as the demon on the inside is kind of like a pretentious thing.
Raj, you just said awoked.
Awoke and
Why are
then
you not
way
awoked?
waked.
What's the wrong with the woke?
Awoke version.
Awoke.
Now he's
I
way
awoke
waked.
from my nap.
What?
I awoke from my hollow body. It's
Thank you, Raj.
I got you.
Gaara sends a giant pillar of sand towards Lee from the sky, and while he manages to swat it away, he's knocked back by a second wave on the ground.
What a bitch.
Oh yeah. No. Every move he makes is just like this like shitty, like conniving, you know what I mean?
I think I also might just hate Gaara because like he has bright red hair and I had bright red hair for a while and I just feel like I'm lesser than he is, so he makes me mad.
So you see a lot of yourself in Gaara, and in a way you wish you
That's
were
a
him?
problem.
Yeah.
I'm just trying
That's-
to tell you that
that's
I'm a shell of a
problematic.
human being and I like sand.
So Lee struggles to stand again, and Gaara takes the opportunity to summon a tidal wave of sand, which pushes Lee against the arena wall, and then he summons 3 more tendrils of sand, which slam into him and like make a crater in the wall. It hit so hard. Guy and Kakashi explain why Lee isn't moving at the speed he was before. Basically, the Lotus is a hidden technique because of the strain it puts on the body. It boosts your abilities without using chakra, but it leaves the user exhausted and in immense pain.
I'm glad someone out there was just like, some kids aren't gonna have chakra. Let's just learn how to beat
Yeah,
the
I
shit out
know.
of people, all hands.
Well, yeah, they have to adapt because there's tons of
Which
losers
is
in this fucking
kind
game.
of fucking impressive though, that he literally can't do shit.
Yeah.
And he's just going all in and has made it so far with Gaara.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely.
Like fucking nuts.
Yeah, and he hasn't even used his strongest move yet. Sizzle.
Sound effect right there. Boom.
Gaara doesn't let up his assault.
You sound like me.
You're gonna get sick.
I know. No,
100%.
well, basically, so we record every week, and we basically just pass a sickness around between the 4 of us.
We've been doing it since we started
Oh
recording.
yeah. No, we've been doing
Yeah.
it since
Yeah.
before you two joined the podcast. Yeah. No,
But
it's.
now it's real bad because I have the immune system of.
Well,
And
I
we
don't
live
know.
together.
We're sick. Emma got concussed like when we were recording.
But
So.
did she pass around a concussion? Because I don't
Yeah, she
remember that
couldn't-
one.
Yeah.
Well,
no, it
Emma's
was-
someone who's
Stop.
really frantic and like very movement heavy. So
Yeah, she
could've-
talks with her hands, so every once in a while she'll punch you really hard, and you'll get a little bit of a
Because she
concussion.
talks so much, so she just knows she has to keep her. My attention span is like 20 nanoseconds.
Right.
So she like constantly just bitch slaps me, just to keep me like awake in the conversation. You guys, she hasn't done that to you? So she does it to everyone. When she visited, I was like, hey Emma. She's like, hey Raj, and bah, like right there.
Oh god, this
I
is
was on the
awkward.
floor.
Yeah.
I thought we were all in on it, guys. That's why I didn't say anything.
Looks like, oof, oh boy.
I gotta call Emma
Yeah, it looks like
after
Emma's
this.
just been beating you up. So Gaara doesn't let up his assault, blasting pillar after pillar of sand towards Lee, who just barely manages to roll out of their trajectories. While Lee's fellow Genin consider the hopelessness of his situation, and he stands in he just kind of raises his hands up like this. It's like desperate and lame, and Guy flashes back to Lee's days in the academy.
Fuck, bro. This is
Shit's
the
so funny.
heaviest shit, man.
It's heavy. But basically,
But so funny,
I know.
yeah.
Before he had a bowl cut, Lee
Oh my
had.
gosh, all the hairdos were incredible.
He had the parted ponytail.
Yeah, it was kind of like my hair, except if I had a long, thick braid in the
He
back.
was rocking it though. Lee has had drip since day one.
Oh yeah, no, like
So
most
you
definitely.
used to have that hair?
With
Like
a
you
braid.
used to have a braid?
No, when I was when I was when I was really little, I grew my hair out really long to donate it to Locks of Love, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got it cut, see, this was like the middle of Star Wars prequels being really big. And the Padawans, which are
Yeah.
Jedi. Oh fuck, I'm such a fucking nerd. The Padawans in Star Wars, when they're training, they have a rat tail. So when I cut my hair, of course, I kept just enough to braid it into a rat tail, so I could be just like my hero, Anakin
That's
Skywalker.
amazing.
Fucking awful.
And I repped it too. I went into second grade like, sup, bro, like my rat tail.
I hate sand too, bro. Fuck sand.
Yeah, no, so not quite that haircut.
Okay.
Actually worse.
Okay, but
Oh, good.
I think my next question is, can you get that haircut?
Can I get the rat tail again?
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yes,
is
I
that is
think
why.
you should.
Yeah, that's why I'm letting my hair
Okay.
grow out. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
That's why I haven't cut it yet.
You want to be Padawan?
Well, of course. Who doesn't?
Well, prequels are popular again, so you'd be like relevant.
The Star Wars prequels?
Yeah.
Yeah. Still, somehow, I don't think that pulling up somewhere with a rat tail is gonna get like the best looks. You know what I mean?
I've seen white people do whiter shit, you know.
Oh yeah, no, very true. At least I'm not kicking backwards when I enter a room. You know?
I would love to like casually be able to do backflips literally whenever, but
Yeah.
just don't want to do it for like no reason. Like, oh, I'm gonna go to the fridge, backflip.
Oh
you know?
yeah, no, most definitely.
Next challenge. You learned how to skateboard, now you need to learn how to do a backflip.
And then I backflip on the skateboard.
That's true. Whoa, whoa.
Ultimate, okay,
One goal at a time. One goal at a
Calm
time.
down.
Yeah, I want to learn how to backflip so that I can go up to one person and be like, yo, I know how to backflip, then backflip, and like not do it for anyone else and have them just like kind of unsure of if I did it or not, you know? I think that'd be a pretty good bit. Maybe. We'll have to see.
I want to roller skate next. That's my next goal. I want to just because I want to. I don't know.
Roller skate or
Me
rollerblade?
too.
Roller. I mean, I guess it depends. If it's winter, I'll rollerblade. I'll like. Well, no, it'd be roller skate. Is
Why?
that skate? Is that the one with the?
Blades are the
Blade
ones.
has all the wheels in a row, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
skate is like the wheels are separate.
What
so
the
you
fuck do
don't have to
hockey
balance
players
as
use
much.
then?
Well, that'll be ice skate.
Well, that's ice
Well,
skate.
so why the fuck is that not called a hockey blade? You can kill someone with that shit.
What?
That makes no fucking sense.
It's ice
But nothing
skating.
rolls
It's
on
I-
that one. It's just the single blade.
Well, it's the blade. So why are they called? Why is the one with the wheels called the?
Because that one
rollerblade?
rolls. Because it's
Well,
a
because
roller blade.
those are roller. That's to differentiate
I
the
need to have a
roller
conversation
things. Ice
with
skating
someone.
is not roller
Clearly.
at all because it doesn't
That's
roll. It's just
bullshit.
skating.
That's so stupid. But anyway, I just want to.
Ice hockey's fun.
And like, okay, you guys ever watched the show Rocket Power?
Yes.
There's for some reason the main gimmick is anytime they have to go anywhere towards the climax of the episode, they're all like rollerblade, whatever the fuck you guys do, you like go.
Well, Raj, are they on ice or not?
They're on the concrete, bro.
All right, so it's
okay.
So it's rollerblading.
And then they go, and then they like do like an awesome ass slide turn, and they like drag in, and they're like, hey, I'm here. I just want to be able to do that anywhere. Like, hey, can you come to the library? Sure, bro, I got you. Come in. It's like, I'm
And
here,
then
what
once
do
you got your
need?
backflip, you can backflip out of the slide.
Do it on ice, it sprays snow at them too, which is so much
Oh,
fun. It's my favorite
that'd
thing
be
to
so
do.
good. Wait, what? You like to just shoot ice on people?
Yeah, like you just go really fast at them and then you turn as soon as you get to them and it just shoots ice.
Dickhead, that would kill someone. That's ice in their
No, not
face.
ice, like snow. Like,
That doesn't make it better.
That's still the same
fun.
idea.
I would just
Asshole.
fall all the way up to their face.
I would
It's
fall
really fun.
right on my ass.
I would
Yeah,
push
I
you.
used to skate,
Yeah, yeah,
so-
I would get you away from me.
I would like go and I'd like, oh, I'm gonna turn and throw ice at them, and then I'd fall on my face.
Oh yeah.
I've always wanted to hit a
Watch-
hockey
watch me
barricade.
do it.
Yeah, I have seen her fall. Morgan has took the illest dive on my skateboard. We talked about it in a previous episode, but
Oh, yeah, no, it's a classic.
She just I've never seen someone flan that way. The way their legs were positioned, destroyed. It was destructive.
So
It hurt.
let's get back to this little flashback we were in. And Lee was like constantly bullied because he only knew taijutsu and he wasn't even very good at that. They called him Dork Lee, which
That's not a.
So creepy.
That's not a thing.
yeah,
It's
it's
not a good nickname.
it's not a good nickname at all.
I don't know. In the daycare, the kids kind of don't. They either call me like Poopy Head or like they'll call me someone's name. They're like, "You're Miss Shirley." Who the fuck is Miss Shirley?
Roasted.
Why is that an insult to me? I don't know the context of this woman. It's either that. My go-to insult is when a kid. It was like one of my first weeks there, and they go, "Hi, what's your name?" And I go, "Raj." They're like, "Raj, you're gay." You're 3.
Yo, yeah, why are kids not woke? I thought they
Yeah.
would be by now.
By now you think they'd just come in all PC out the womb, but no. It's just not a wave. They're not. Most of the kids there at the daycare are honestly going to be really rich and racist. Like, it's just, some of them are already bullies. and
It's that Westchester mansion, you know?
It's the upstate wave.
Yeah, yeah.
Raj,
Listen!
What?
Okay.
make me say it again.
These stupid upstaters think that, like,
my
this
God.
place isn't upstate.
It's
This is not
It is
upstate.
upstate.
This is not upstate.
Okay, is there a downstate?
What? Of course.
Okay, no,
this is
hear me out. Is there a downstate?
Yes.
Is there a midstate?
Yes.
And then you have to go up from mid-state to get here, right? So what are we?
What?
Where the fuck are you guys going? I have to go up from where I am.
Yeah, no. So, and as I've said many times, like I'll grant you, I picture New York as the city and upstate.
That's it. Yeah, if you're not in the city, you're upstate.
But I also picture Westchester as the city, so I'm wrong.
I thought
too.
Rhode Island was right next to us, guys.
Yeah.
For all we know, who fucking knows?
Both of us have pretty controversial and objectively wrong geographical opinions.
Bro, I don't want to talk about like Buffalo and shit. Like, what even is a
Bro,
Buffalo?
Buffalo's like the Midwest.
Honestly, yeah, Buffalo, Albany are not in like they're in like Missouri.
They're on the opposite sides of the state.
Exactly, that's why they're like Missouri and California. They're not where we are.
What?
It's a whole different thing.
What are you saying?
I don't think you have any idea what geography is.
Clearly,
I do like the phrase, they're like Michigan and California. They're not where I am.
Also said Missouri.
Oh, Missouri, sorry, not Michigan.
Is upper as
I don't know. It's M states. Montana, Michigan.
Montenegro.
Yeah, wherever. It's all the same.
Who knows? M states are M states.
It's true.
Turn upside down, they're W states. Washington.
Wyoming.
What?
West
Wumbo.
Wumbo.
He's coming with Wisconsin.
Thank
West
you.
Wisconsin.
Wumbo.
West Wumbo.
my favorite state.
I'm
Oh
off
my
to
God.
West Wumbo.
And frankly, West Wumbo is just a nicer place than South Wumbo.
Oh,
if you
for
ask me.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Everybody in South Wumbo is marrying their cousins, you know?
Why?
Yikes, I gotta check.
Northeast Wumbo is not the place to be.
No, Northeast Wumbo's low-key racist.
Oh, high
Yeah,
key,
yeah.
very
They're
racist.
coming into your daycare and calling you
I
gay.
need help.
Wow. That was confusing. Anyways, so Kakashi and Guy look on at Lee being bullied, and Kakashi's like, hey, wow, he's a lot like you, and not just in the eyebrows, because he's a loser like you.
Lisa, throughout this entire flashback in the whole episode, his eye design when he's like in the current present day it fits him. It does. As a kid, fucking insane. It's life similar to Katie. Katie has really soulless dead eyes. You kind of like stare into them and you kind of just feel the void.
I stared right into the
You feel the abyss. And sometimes when I stare at her and she talks back, it literally is the abyss talking back to you.
Oh, no, it's even worse when she stares at you but says nothing.
Similar to like Mark Zuckerberg, like how he just stares at things. Do you drink water like him? Like you kind of just like,
Katie, drink some water.
drink some water.
That's my water.
He drinks like a fucking reptilian lizard. Don't look at me like that when you do it. I just like disassociate. You can trigger your disassociation by looking in your eyes.
What?
Don't look in my eyes. I'm flying away right now.
Careful, Rush. She's gonna steal your soul.
Honestly, I'm terrified.
Drink water. I'm laughing.
So, while Gaara's sand pummels Lee in the present, Guy continues thinking back. He recalls Lee's absurdly excessive training. He would always set unachievably lofty goals for himself, and he would like stay out all night, and even like it looked like he stayed out for days straight.
Bro, just buy a Game Boy. What are you doing? Like, this is too much.
No, it's
Well, they have weird tech. They have like microphones and panels and shit, but they have castles and like.
Open the panel.
open the. Honestly, yeah, there's
the greatest quote from all of Naruto. Open the panel.
I like how that's the tech that you picked was just from that one scene.
It's the most advanced. They have VHS. They have TV. Yet they still use like kunai and shit.
Yeah. I'd like to see what kind of shit they are watching in the movie theaters in the Naruto world.
Do you think they have movie theaters? I think they're still in that era where people
Well, they
just
have
do like
VHS
play.
Well, they
tapes.
probably have like ninja movies.
About ninja?
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be like in the real world, like firefighter movies or something, or like war movies? You know?
Those exist.
You know,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, how,
We had those.
They're real.
you know how Blair Witch like pioneered like found footage, like following the person with the camera type thing.
Yeah, yeah.
In the Naruto world, that pioneering moment must have been fucking crazy. Like flying through the trees and
Oh
shit.
yeah, and someone was finally like, why don't we film this?
Yeah, like there's a man who can turn into a fucking snake.
Yeah,
I
like-
feel like we should film this shit.
They've been making rom-coms for decades, and then finally they were like, wait a second, we're having superhero battles every day. How come no one's filmed this?
Absolute pioneers.
So, sometime later, Lee joined Guy's squad, and the group declared their dreams for the future. Up first was 10-10, and like, buddy, nobody cares.
No one gives a shit.
The first thing the first thing she says, she's like, oh, I swear to be just like, although this is kind of important, you know, it's like a little sprinkling of lore, you know? She's like, I want to be like the legendary female ninja Tsunade. Interesting.
Ooh,
Who
for
knows?
sure.
Yeah, right?
Who knows?
Ooh. And then Neji, he just looks to the side and he's like, yeah, I don't really like buy into dreams or anything like that.
It's not my thing, bro.
It's not really like my way.
Yeah, not my thing, bro, at all.
Lee, on the other, is like the complete opposite. He's like, oh, sensei, pick me. I dream like on a daily.
Who else are you gonna pick? Everyone else is done.
The other two have won. It's your turn, bro. Yeah. But he, with unbridled enthusiasm, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna become a splendid ninja even though I only use taijutsu. And Neji is like, no, you're not, bro.
Garbage.
It's not how it goes. So while Lee desperately runs around to avoid the barrage of sand sent forth by Gaara in the present, Neji thinks back on his own training drills with Lee, and the two of them would fight in like sparring contests, and Neji would just beat him with no effort
Yeah,
at all.
no, that's like slapboxing gone too wrong. Like when you're like play fighting with your brother and you actually do like a really real swing and then they just go ape shit and beat the shit out of you. It's like, oh, okay.
No. My little brother and I, every once in a while, like when we were like really pissed off and we like really needed to like get out the steam, you know, we would be like, all right, bro, time to play real fighting. That was the name of our game.
Okay, Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, head ass. What are you fucking weirdo? You said, bro, it's Fight Club time.
Yeah,
You just beat the shit out of you.
We'd be just like running around in the yard, and then I'd be like, yo, Eli, real fighting time, let's go.
You're bad shit.
Yeah, no, we dude, this is like young white people things. We all start fight clubs.
Yeah, no, I just got a Game Boy. I don't know what you guys were doing, but to be fair, now I just assume you're on your Switch portable all the time.
It's true.
I just want to fight people. So I think
it just switches.
It just switches.
Flops.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a Game Boy phase. Everybody needs a real life fighting phase.
Real fighting.
And if you're out there thinking, I'm never gonna want to get into real fights on the daily,
Have you had one?
you just not in the phase yet.
Yeah, you're not in the phase
Yeah,
yet.
exactly. Yeah.
Wait till the it's gonna be like actual like a really hard drug. Once you get punched in the face, it's like when you first get in your first mosh, right? I was scared of moshing. That wasn't really my thing. I'm a very fragile person.
Sure.
But the first time I jumped into it, it was at a Brockhampton concert. Some guy said, he grabbed me, like he put his arm over my shoulder. He says, "Bro, we're gonna go to Gayland together." I was like, "What the fuck is Gayland?" Brockhampton's this really LGBT like plus like really centric group. And Kevin Abstract, the lead member, goes. He starts the song Tokyo, going, "Are y'all ready to go to Gayland?" And this guy I don't know, really sweaty, 6'2", like neckbeard guy, turns to me, hot ass breath. He could have been hot ass breath, musty as fuck, maybe like Taco Bell gordita type shit.
And you fell in love?
A little. I did come away with that. There was a guy I was talking to after that show. Great guy. We still keep up. He goes to NYU. They have a
Pretty close.
Chick-fil-A. Imagine spending your meals at purchase, but like on like Chick-fil-A and shit like that. Like actual restaurant type food.
And that's the thing, man. I mean, like, fuck Chick-fil-A, but if it's in the meal plan, you know what I mean?
You gotta eat what you gotta eat. Fuck Chick-fil-A.
But if it's in the meal plan.
Yeah, no, I'll beat the shit out of some Chick-fil-A.
Oh, yeah, no. Most
But it's like a
definitely.
shitty Chick-fil-A. It's an express one, and they kind of like, they don't have that. Chick-fil-A's known for having really nice people working there. Like, they'll like hunt you down if you forget your straw for your drink. But these guys are like, here's your sandwich, God be with you, and like they would throw it at your face.
God be with you.
I was like, all right, can I get a spicy sandwich? No spicy option. Fuck you. Go die. It's
Wait,
like,
do they? Okay, now I've never actually been to a Chick-fil-A. Do they really say "God be with you"?
No, but the.
'Cause I know that's like their whole like
I
thing.
don't know. My
is, like-
Chick-fil-A is weird. I'm from Queens, and the only Chick-fil-A is in Queens Center Mall. And all I've known about Chick-fil-A is that they hated the gays, they support Donald Trump, and that's all bad. But the two managers of my store were gay, and they were dating each other.
That's wild.
I just kind of had this weird misconception where I'm like,
What?
yeah, they were adorable. They were the nicest people. They would swing me a free cookie all the
Why
time.
would you work at Chick-fil-A?
Hey man,
I
you
don't know.
you gotta work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's like the harsh reality of like capitalism and shit. That you gotta.
Yeah.
It's like
And
you're creating 50 million jobs. Oh, you gotta still work 6 of them to survive.
And
Oh well.
as we've been saying a lot recently on this Naruto podcast, fuck capitalism.
Fuck capitalism.
Not sure how that keeps coming up, but like.
Because we're angry and we're
Yeah.
college kids.
And we live in a society.
We do live in a society.
Famously.
I got my professor actually. I did an experience day in my transmedia class, and my professor came to observe it. And throughout the entire process, I've consistently said 2 phrases: "Fuck cops" and "We live in a society." And when he came in, the first step you have to do for each member is you have to get a name tag with a slogan from us. So he chose between "Fuck cops" and "We live in a society."
Right.
And he goes really hard. He goes, "Raj, I know you. I know you believe in these 2 things very strongly.
Yeah.
And I know that you would beat the shit out of a cop. So I'm not going to wear fuck cops because I want to see you go ape shit. I want to see you go fucking crazy for this project." I'm like, there's a tea station. We're doing yoga. I don't know why you want me to go ape shit now.
Right.
But he chose "We live in society," and I had to break it down to him. And the first thing I said was, "Well, have you seen Joker? Have you seen it yet?" And he goes, "No, I don't waste my time with movies like that." And I go, "Well,
If you start a sentence with "Have you seen Joker?" it's probably a good sign that you should just
turn around, run away." I felt like the weirdo in that situation when this like 84-year-old guy is just so out of touch with the youth. Yeah, he's kicking strong though. That man just doesn't give a fuck.
That's crazy.
So
Love that 84-year-old man.
yeah, an 84-year-old man who lives in a society, just like us.
Oh yeah, I mean he lives in society. I live in my mom's basement. That's what I do.
So, when Lee gets his ass whooped by Neji, Tenten's like, "Bro, you gotta stop fighting with a genius." But Lee's like, "No, I can still be a great ninja even with just taijutsu." But Neji shuts him down. He's like, "No," thinking that, like, honestly, there's no way, no matter how hard you work, that you're ever gonna achieve your dreams.
That's just so weird. They keep throwing around the word genius because you're good at fighting.
Yeah, I know.
Like, what does that have to do with anything? Like your intelligence? No.
Right.
No, see, if it really came down to it, Lee didn't have to cheat on the test during the written test
How
phase.
did he? Oh, he did cheat though, right?
Well, no, he had 10-10 cheat for him because that's don't fucking play hard, play smart. All right,
Very
don't
true.
put in. Companies don't give a shit about you. You take a day off once in a
we're
while.
back on the capitalism train.
Oh my god.
Back in the arena, Gaara pummels Lee with his sand, and Kankuro laments that Gaara's gonna toy with Lee until he concedes defeat. Guy, though, is like, no, he's never gonna give in. He never gives up.
Your
That's-
voice is crazy.
Guy flashes back to Lee doing jump ropes until he literally trips over the rope and collapses. Then, and this is actually pretty heavy, on the ground, Lee breaks into tears.
Gosh, him crying was so
So
sad.
there was I didn't really understand this scene in a bit because he would go, if I don't do this many amount of something, I'm gonna do this, and then he would keep doing it. Would he do that because he completed it, or did he fuck up?
My guess would be that he like came close and he like just couldn't finish that
Yeah,
last one.
he's just built up to be this perfectionist who wouldn't stop. So like, if he were to just do it and then say fuck it, I'm just gonna do 2,000 squats right now. Like I just see that happening.
Yeah.
He's the type of person. He's like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna go hit the court for 3 hours
Right.
and then go like run around in a circle for
Well, no, that's exactly what I do. Like, because then you do what you set yourself out to, but then by the end, like, you're tired and you feel like your form's not perfect. So you're like, no, I didn't do that to the max percent. Now I have to do this whole next thing, you know?
Yeah, I've worked out with Liam once, and he put me on the same regiment, and like 10 seconds after every exercise on the ground, bro, I could not breathe. I was like Gaara with the way he was breathing here on some Darth Vader shit. Just like so heavy, so much sweat, and I really came through. I was wearing just a t-shirt, shorts. I wore a Nike headband. I just really wanted to go for the full thing.
Yeah, you were there for it, yeah.
And I haven't gone to the gym since, and that was like what, October of last
it's
year.
alright though. It's still with you. The gym experience. So while Lee is crying, Guy steps in to encourage his protege to not give up. He encouraged Lee by he celebrated the gift that nobody else had. Are you reaching for water?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that's what I'm rooting for.
But basically, Guy said that Lee's perseverance in a way, sorry, I don't know, perseverance is not a word.
That's no.
Yeah. Lee's perseverance in a way made him a genius too. Still, Lee struggled to believe that he could ever work hard enough to overcome sheer natural talent. And this is where he really cries. He sobbed. Yeah, because it seems like no matter what, he would always be a loser.
It's so heartbreaking.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite characters in the present day, and just knowing he has an even more tragic backstory. It's not even tragic, it's just like really sad.
Yeah, that's what tragic means.
That is what tragic means. But tragic is more so like Sasuke's tragic, your whole family's dead. This dude just gets pissed he can't do 2,000 squats, so, you know, like.
Yeah, but it's still very
This is all
personal.
self-inflicted, obviously. He could stop. He honestly could just go get a Game Boy. There's an option there.
I mean, I guess you're right. But Guy, actually, it's weird. He agrees with Lee. He's like, oh, you're right. You will be a loser if you don't believe in yourself. Pretty cool.
Like, thanks, Guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's solid. Later, the two sat beneath the stars, and and Guy admitted that he, too, was once a loser who became great through sheer effort. And he was like, oh, Lee, you're really inspirational, what you do. Then, back in the present, Lee strengthens his resolve, dodging Gaara's next blow with the same speed he had before, which shocks everyone.
Oh, actually, just to backtrack for a second.
Yeah, most definitely.
They finally acknowledge that Guy Sensei and Lee have the same eyebrows and stuff.
Oh, yeah, because he's like, you're just like me, Lee.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, aside from the eyebrows, yeah. Because the thing is, like, now, see him as a kid and then seeing him now, he definitely took the bowl cut from Guy Sensei, but he's had the eyebrows since day one.
Which is good to explain, because otherwise it's like, how the heck did it just happen that they are identical? Like,
Yeah.
But it's Lee copying Guy.
But it's the eyebrows.
And I'll be real, the bowl
Yeah,
cut
the
with the
eyebrows,
eyebrows, not the worst
Not
look.
the worst look.
got
Definitely
the eyebrows.
very chiseled, very strong look.
Right. And if you've got the eyebrows, you might as well do the bowl cut.
Oh, you might as well.
Determined to live up to both his own expectations of himself and Guy's expectations, Lee smiles while dodging Gaara's next assault, and Guy suggests that Gaara is the one who has to be defensive now. Boom. Because Kakashi realizes that Guy has taught Lee how to open the 8 inner gates, which will allow him to use the hidden lotus.
More ninja jargon.
Yeah.
If anyone knows what this means.
We're all like, oh.
Oh, yeah.
I know, and it takes him a little while before they explain it, because like Kakashi gets really pissed off and he's like, how many gates can Lee open? And Guy's like, 5, and it's
well, Sakura, this part was really annoying for a second, because Sakura goes, well, what the fuck does that mean, Guy Sensei? And then Guy Sensei says it, and then Kakashi responds, and then she's like, well, I still don't know what that means. And he goes, well, you don't understand it. She's not getting answers. She keeps asking questions, and you're not getting answers. People, what are you doing?
But eventually, Guy and Kakashi work together to explain that the 8 inner gates are like internal chakra limiters along the chakra network that sort of, they hinder the amount of chakra that can flow within you. Like, your brain has a real thing like this, I think, that like protects against blood, too much of it, or
I don't
something.
know. So, there's a few moments where you can like kind of go apeshit, what like mom strength, like when she sees like her baby like, in trouble, she'll like go tenfold crazy on your ass.
She can open her gates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but these gates, opening them, even just one, like amplifies your strength like tenfold, you know? And so Lee opens one of those gates every time he uses that primary lotus kick, which, you know, kicks somebody upward. He's done it a couple times now. But that's why it always leaves him feeble and exhausted, because it's literally pushing your body past what it should be capable of. Now it seems he's opened the second one too, because that one's called the Gate of Rest, and that's how he suddenly had his stamina back. Yeah.
I didn't get that.
I didn't peep that.
Yeah.
I just thought they just gave them names because they're like Naruto's just always like they're like the legendary Sannin or like what you guys are just giving names to shit.
Exactly.
Demon Wind
Oh my
Shuriken.
gosh.
What? You're just throwing a shuriken. There's no demon wind with that.
Sorry.
That's cool.
No, I'm so glad that he could only open 8 though, because you know that he could only open 5, because you know if he could open all 8, he probably would, and that would be terrifying.
Oh yeah, Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's
last one is literally the gate of
He
death.
will die.
Yeah.
If he opens it.
well, and that's what Kakashi explains, is that if you open all 8, you like dwarf even the Hokage's strength. You're like a god, like that girl from your daycare. And
Do you think she knows how to open all 8?
that's what I'm thinking.
gosh,
Most
maybe that's what she was
definitely.
doing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking she
She's
struts
standing
in.
there and she was like,
She was doing the Gate of
open
Rest. She's
Yeah.
getting ready for the next one.
Crazy.
No, she's powerful.
Yeah, no, most definitely. But opening all 8, like we said, means certain death. Kakashi scolds Guy for teaching his students such a dangerous technique, allowing his personal feelings to cloud his judgment.
Hot take. I think the episode should have ended here with Kakashi going, he would die.
No,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
Because
a moment where I was like, fuck. And
Fuck.
I was like, yeah.
yeah, I was like, yeah, no, it should have ended here because they did a really awkward, just black screen.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay,
And
that
they
was
kinda
kind of a cool,
came
dramatic manga ending, and then, oh, nope, there's more words.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
I was
so
thinking
much
he
more
was-
after that.
I was thinking he was either gonna lose or die, and both of those would be really bad. No, either win or die, and winning would be great, but like he could die. And then
Right.
I was like, what if he both wins and
No,
dies?
that's what I thought was gonna happen
Yeah,
right
but-
after he said that. I was
exactly,
Like,
I was like,
he's
oh,
gonna
crap.
He's gonna beat Gaara, and then immediately after it's just gonna croak.
Die.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just think that this everything after Kakashi saying you could die could definitely be fitted in the beginning of the next episode.
Yeah, I agree.
Because even then, at the start of the first episode we watched, there was just a janitor sweeping up like shit.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
was that like a Jonin janitor? Do you think they like passed the?
Yeah, he got his
exams to
fucking like
become a
ninja
janitor for that?
equivalent of the master's degree, and he's just sweeping shit up now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But right, so Guy made Lee swear not to open those inner gates unless he was doing something even more important than protecting someone precious to him, which is what basically the stipulation for him using all of his other techniques is. So below, the air around Lee starts like vibrating, and the floor below him is torn up, and like all of his veins pop out in his face, and his skin turns red, and he glows with energy, and
This animation was fucking insane.
Yeah.
It was so
Like-
weird, but in the best way. Like it was just
never like
so much.
recognize, except for when they were first in the Forest of Death. I never recognized whether or not it's good animation.
Yeah.
But I was watching this and I was like, holy shit, this is so good.
yeah.
And it just felt like you could feel like what the energy was like in there because of like how they.
Yeah, it's really
animated it.
visceral. Yeah. And he gets this like green aura and stuff, and he opens the third gate, the gate of life, to protect the one thing more important than someone precious to him, his own dreams.
Which
Pretty
right there,
baller.
the heartstrings.
Pretty baller, yeah. And then, so episode 50 opens with everyone like shocked by Lee's transformation, and Kakashi, he's using his Sharingan to watch as Lee pushes past and opens the fourth gate, the gate of pain, which that's actually when he starts to glow green.
Yeah.
And he rockets forth so fast that the ground like tears up beneath his feet. He kicks up from below Gaara so hard that the shockwave hits everybody looking, and before they can even figure out what's going on, Gaara's up in the air, and we don't even know where Lee is.
Yeah.
He's vanished. The sand from below tries to shield Gaara, but before it can get to him, Lee kicks him from midair, chipping away at his sand armor.
So dope.
Yeah, and Lee continuously, like, it's almost it's like really kind of silly the way that Lee keeps hitting Gaara like all over
Yeah,
in the
they
air.
just bounce around. They def needed some filler for a minute.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. But Lee's nose starts to bleed, and as he winds up for a heavy punch on Gaara, we hear his muscles audibly tearing apart. And then he opens the fifth gate, the gate of closing, for this final punch. Gaara is like scared now. He's like, oh shit, I'm actually gonna, lose in a fight, which has never happened to him before. And before Lee punches Gaara, he looks towards Neji, his rival, ultimately, and he's like, oh, I was saving this power for you.
That's so
I hope that you're watching. Just before Lee punches Gaara, he like flashes, because Gaara was holding his hands up to his face to defend a little bit, but Lee flashes even to bypass that and slams him in the gut, and then Gaara starts falling down, but he doesn't even let Gaara land. He wrapped him in his bandage and he pulls him back up for like another even harder, earth-shattering punch that slams him to the ground and completes the Hidden Lotus. Then Lee tumbles to the ground and reverts back to his original form. As Gaara falls, his gourd transforms into sand, which cushions his fall a little bit. Then, from the bed of sand, Gaara reaches out towards Lee.
This was terrifying.
Yeah, and the thing is, at this point, Lee, really he won. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he def won.
Yeah.
Because it's visibly difficult for Gaara to raise his hand, and like if Lee had a superpower like Gaara does, he would have been able to beat him. It's just that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, he only do so much.
Yeah, so it is, and it's really clearly difficult for Gaara to raise his hand, but still he does, and he commands a wave of sand forward, and Shino recognizes this as the sand coffin technique. Yeah, Lee's muscles are too torn for him to get away.
You know what's an oxymoron?
What?
Umbrella rain. Because after he did the sand burial on that one guy, all of his umbrellas started falling because that was his gimmick.
Yeah, it is strange to have it be raining umbrellas. Although I guess you can get something to cover yourself up with pretty easily.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, my umbrella of like 3 years just recently broke. In like a monstrous storm we had here recently. I got so fucking angry I jammed it into a trash can. I just got, and I let the rain hit me, and I was just screaming like I was, that was literally it. I was screaming like I was in a fucking movie, just beating the shit out of the trash can with my umbrella, just like, I've had you for 3 fucking years, and now you betray me. I was beating myself for it, because I was like, I shouldn't even have gone to the hub. I'm not even that hungry. I was just gonna get fucking honey buns like always, and I lost my umbrella out of that. It looked like Ben 10, guys. It was cool. It was green and black.
Wait. Your example of cool and dramatic is Ben 10?
Yeah, dude. Name someone cooler than Ben 10. And
I mean, I
Kevin
can.
Levin,
I just think that's interesting.
Yeah, no. Dude, Forearms and the Fired fucking Alien were like the coolest people to meet ever.
Heat Blast.
Heat Blast?
Yeah.
You know,
Heat Blast.
real nerd right here. He knew the name.
Damn it again.
This is why he goes to the gym.
I know, it literally is. First the rat tail, now I know Ben 10's aliens. But luckily for Lee, Gaara is really, really weakened by the previous attacks, and so he's only able to grab onto Lee's arm and leg. Still, with those appendages confined, Gaara uses the sand coffin and just, like, eviscerates them. Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah.
Like, it was beautiful.
Felt like watching Jaws, bro. That shit was crazy.
Just
like
down.
creeps up on him and
Lee falls to the ground unconscious, but Gaara doesn't let up, sending another wave of sand at his foe, eager to kill him. But before it can hit, Guy steps in and swats it aside.
This is bullshit. When they first started, like the Chunin exam, like this fight, they're always like, guys, no interfering, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you could die. Like,
you
we'll
could
let you die if you
we'll
don't
let
give up.
you go. Like, you will pass into the next life. And all these teachers are interfering and shit. But that goes to show, like, just, like, teachers who haven't intervened. Kakashi stopped these kids from dying, like, at all.
Kakashi intervened with the Hyuga. It's Asuma who doesn't give a shit.
Oh, no. But, like, he doesn't stop. Like, he stops, like, Neji
but
from
he
killing
was
Hinata.
helping- yeah.
But his own
Not
kids,
his
like
own-
Naruto,
not-
Sasuke,
not his
Sakura.
team.
Oh, yeah.
He let them
helping
rock.
Hinata.
They were gonna die, and he said, fuck it, I do not care.
But they didn't really need it. I mean, Sakura battled Ino, which was nothing, kind of.
No, but, like, she would def go...
for it.
Yeah. After the
Yeah,
show.
when you two fight. But,
will truly decide the real winner.
and Naruto won his fucking fight by farting.
Oh,
Forget that.
It became a fucking cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's an important thing to remember. So it's weird, though. When Guy steps in to defend Lee, Gaara, like, we see these flashes of, like, everyone he knows who we don't even know yet. Like, we don't know Gaara's backstory. And it shows and it cracks, and he, like, grabs his head in agony, and he's just like, why would you save Lee? He's a failure. What's worth saving?
Bro, go take a walk.
It's fucking
Like,
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
what
What do
was
you
Deal
go
with
go?
your own shit and
Yeah.
then come back.
Don't bring
Like,
that into the
calm
field,
down.
bro.
Leave it at the door.
Leave dude. There's okay. So I'm not on Facebook at all.
Sure.
I'm not. But a lot of my friends from back home are. And one of them made a post, and I don't really talk to this guy often, but he made a post going, "Hey, underground fight club in my crib. Leave the beef at the door. Let's come settle this like men." What the fuck? And
Yeah.
he was like, DM for my address. Like, he was serious. And
Well, that's the thing. Like, when Eli and I did real fighting in the yard, you know? You
Yeah.
can't bring your beef from the PS2.
He's like, leave
into
my
the
rat
yard."
tail alone, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop making fun of my fucking bandanas. This is a one-on-one, like, man-on-man combat right here.
Yes. Another phase of my life, I wore different colored bandanas to school every day.
Tell him why.
Yeah. Well, okay, so my ears kind of stick out, and it's really embarrassing, and so I would use the bandanas to tie them up against my head, and they were colorful. Oh, and I'm saying bandana, you might think like, you know, I don't know, like Sakura wear, like Morgan's doing it right now, or I don't know how you wear a bandana. I did it like a Naruto headband. I tied it around my forehead so that it held my ears back. Yeah. There's only one piece.
But
Yeah.
were you allowed to wear bandanas in school?
Not. Yes.
Because we weren't allowed.
Interesting.
Like, if you were
Really?
a bandana because it's like associated with like gang stuff.
Oh yeah, so many
So
gangs in Syracuse.
No,
New
yeah.
York.
Listen, do not. Honestly, there is.
Public
Yeah.
schools ban like the weirdest shit. We got you couldn't bring playing cards to school.
Yeah, same.
They took away those like little silly band things.
Oh yeah, well, silly bands got banned pretty much everywhere.
That
Yeah.
shit is
They didn't
crazy.
ban-
Fidget spinners got banned. Those got banned in my school.
Oh, I feel like they did in mine too. Or I
That's
think
so
it might have been
stupid.
like by class, but like a lot of teachers were like, leave them shit at home.
I mean, like, I get it. I was in class in this room actually earlier today, and my friend brought a fidget cube, and my professor had to like tell me like, hey, could you stop? And I was like, what am I doing? And then
You have a fidget cube?
I don't. My friend Lenore. And then I'm playing with the cube. I didn't even realize it, but I'm like clicking the shit out of it mid like presentation. So she would be like, so sensation and like the way the ear works. And I'm just like, I don't give a fuck.
Like our fucking distorted episode that we
That
had.
shit was insane.
Of course, for Guy, the answer as to why he would defend Lee is clear. He's his student, and his student is precious to him.
Oh my gosh, and he just like, a guy just like stepped in and like tried to use emotions against Gaara of all people, who's like so stoic, but it kind of worked, and that was just, I was so confused.
Gaara just kind of gets pissed off.
I guess.
But in like a.
But
it was
like
different than his normal like mad.
Yeah,
It
because
was
like
his
he
baseline
had
is
his
pissed off.
He was
backstory
like,
and was
ow,
like,
that hurt.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm mad at you because that
But
like
that
it
means he
got to
felt
me.
something,
Because
yeah.
he's no longer this shell of a person. Like he's emoting.
Right.
And he got mad
Which
because
was weird.
like Guy made him feel something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It does. It makes me curious as to what Gaara's backstory is.
Exactly.
You know, and like why this hit him so hard. But yeah, Gaara struggles to his feet, and the sand already reforming his gourd and smoothing his cracked skin, he just storms off. He's like, I quit. But he's already won because Guy intervened. Though before Hayate can declare Gaara the winner, Lee stands up again.
It's like the illest powerful manga
Oh,
shot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lee's whole body is trembling and blood is pouring from his hand and his leg. But still, he takes a fighting stance. Kakashi considers how this must be impossible, and Guy goes over to Lee. He's like, you don't have to fight anymore. You've already proved yourself to be a splendid ninja. But Lee's not even conscious. He's like, we see his eyes and they're glazed.
He's
He's
gone. He's faded.
So he's like out, like he's like
Yeah.
asleep, not asleep, but you know.
No, he's just not consciously like
Yeah,
there.
he's
Wow.
knocked out, but still every fiber of his being wills him to stay standing.
Wow.
Yeah, that whole like ninja code, the whole like I'll never give up. That's in his blood, you know. Yeah, and Guy bursts into tears and gives Lee a hug, and he's like, you've done it. You've proved yourself. You're amazing, and I love you, and it's great. But all the same, Hayate declares Gaara the victorious. Sakura attempts to jump down and confront Lee, but Kakashi stops her. He's like, at this point, really saying anything would only make this like worse. But
Which is like
But also,
a good.
Lee would love Sakura
No,
to run
no,
up to
no,
him.
no,
At
Like,
this
I know he's
point,
unconscious,
No,
it's
no.
but
one
like
of
he'd
those
love
things where
that.
it would not help.
He's not there. Lee's
know.
not
I
there.
know.
It's just his body who just
But
wants
like
to fight.
when he woke up, like finding out that she like cared to run over, he'd love
No,
that.
because no, he would be even more sad. He's like, oh no, Sakura saw me lose. That's like
You're
the
right.
illest
I
thing
didn't
for
even
him.
think of
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
Oh yeah, okay.
yeah, and
You
although
convinced me.
Kakashi played it smart there.
yeah, unfortunately there's no Kakashi near Naruto, and he jumps down and runs towards Lee, and he passes Gaara, and there's like this, everything around them goes white, and it's just like this bam. I don't know. They just kind of have a moment, you know.
Yeah.
Not a good moment though. They're not falling in love over here. Not like Raj and that guy at the Brockhampton concert. This is it.
We did fall in love. No, he took me on a date to Chick-fil-A at NYU. And it was strange because it was like my first time having Chick-fil-A. It was my first time being at like a private school, and everyone there was a dick.
Yeah.
Everyone there was just the illest dick, and they all knew it that like they could slap me with their wallet size.
Right,
like, it
right.
would hurt very much. Yeah. The guy was nice though. Nothing happened. Hope you're doing well. You invited me to a concert. I just didn't answer. Hope you're okay.
Yeah, it's
Hope
a
the
lot of
concert
pressure.
was
It's a lot of
good.
pressure. So yeah, Naruto and Gaara have this like moment, and it's like surely they'll throw hands eventually, you know. But then Naruto runs over to Lee, and he's just kind of looking at him in awe as the medical ninja examine him. And then one of the medics pulls Guy over to the side, and Naruto overhears while the medic is like, "So here's the dealio. Because of Lee opening the inner gates, it's gonna take forever, and it's going to be incredibly painful for him to be rehabilitated, and that combined with the fact that his leg and arm are like destroyed means he'll never be able to fight again."
They ended his career.
Yeah.
That's
Shit like
so
that is
hard.
so heartbreaking.
Yeah, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna be dead though. Like they were
No, but
pulling
this
him
is
aside, and I
worse.
was so
No,
worried.
this is
But
way
this
worse than him being dead.
Yeah, because there's like
Yeah.
honor in dying in a fight.
But
this,
yeah.
he's never going to be able to, like, do anything again.
Even when he wasn't conscious, all he wanted to do was fight. So now he can't even do that.
And so imagine what it's going to be like for Lee waking up in the hospital and being told,
No.
yeah, your career, you
that's
can't,
awful.
you thought that you were pushing yourself and you did all this to become a splendid ninja, and now you can't be a ninja at all anymore.
Shit like that is so heartbreaking. There was a kid in my high school that our homecoming game, I think it may have been junior year or senior year.
Yeah.
He was on the football team, and during the game, he like fell down and broke his femur, which is one of the hardest. Well, I think it actually might be the hardest bone to recover from. Breaking, because it's such a thick bone and it takes so long for it to heal and rebuild
Jesus,
itself.
and that just like ended his career.
I think it may have been senior year because he was like would have had a full ride to any college. And he had to
Yeah,
he had to
that's
get
tragic,
recruited
and
shit.
it's a similar thing.
Yeah.
Also, Lee is the first of our heroes to lose, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, everyone else has gotten through.
No, Sakura lost.
Sakura, although she tied.
That's a draw. A
Yeah.
draw
Oh,
isn't a loss, but it's not a win.
And we kind of like Ino too, you know.
Yeah,
It's
she's
like-
not bad. She's redeemed herself,
Yeah.
definitely.
Hinata? Is it not really?
Oh,
one of our
yeah,
heroes,
I would
but,
say
like,
Hinata,
she's,
yeah.
like, definitely who we're rooting
That's
for.
true.
and-
Yeah, so we've had 2 losses in a row, I guess.
Oh, that
ultimately.
sucks.
Yeah, that does suck. But so Naruto refuses to believe that Lee's career is going to be over, and Guy approaches Lee shamefully because he only wanted his student to succeed in this seemingly impossible goal, but now it's like ended his career. And this is actually, I think, the saddest part in any of these episodes. Naruto screams at Lee for failing.
Yeah, it sucked. It
Yeah,
hurt so bad.
he's like, you said that we could, even though we were losers, we could be splendid ninja. How fucking dare you lose? And like, because Naruto is a loser too.
Yeah, they're so
Yeah.
similar in like their like mindset towards all. Like both of them are the never give up, and that's why they're good. you
Yeah.
know? And he lost.
And he didn't give up, but
Yeah.
he still lost. Yeah, and it's he just keeps screaming at him, but Kakashi restrains him, and he's like, "Listen, this obsession that Lee had was what did this to him."
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Which must be so hard for Naruto to hear.
Absolutely, yeah. Gaara, this is where he does the weird move because he turns into sand and he like appears up.
He
with
went for the full
He
Joker
does
dance,
that,
bro.
he does, yeah.
He's dead
It's the weirdest fucking pose I've ever seen, even in this show.
He's so weird.
Yeah.
There was no reason for it. It just happened.
Yeah, but the other sand people there are like, oh, thank God, the real worst case scenario didn't happen. So we still don't even know the full extent of Gaara's powers.
Yeah.
Like, there's still something.
Who is this fucking teacher that they have with them? The
I know,
most
just like their
unknown
chaperone.
chaperone.
So Kakashi approaches Guy and apologizes for like scolding him for teaching Lee how to open the inner gates because he's like, listen, man, if I had a student like that, I probably would have taught it to him too. Like, I can see how you were swayed by, your feelings for this kid. The group then clears out of the arena to allow the next match to start. Now, that's the end of Gaara versus Lee, but there's a little bit afterwards. Basically, there are only 2 genin left. It's Dosu and Choji. Yeah, and they step forward for their battle. Dosu...
After all of that, they were just so awkward walking into the circle.
Yeah, no,
like,
How do you top that?
No,
you
that
know?
would be like, okay, we got it.
I know it would suck to have to
Yeah,
follow
like,
that.
I know.
But it's also awkward because Dosu walks like fucking.
With his
Yeah,
fucking
he's
sleeves, that's me. If you've ever seen me after I went to bed at 4 a.m. and had to wake up for an 8 a.m., that's me with my fucking sweatshirt walking to class. I'm just like, okay, I guess I have to do this.
Yeah,
now.
yeah. And Choji walks in. He's only in it for the barbecue, But Dosu recognizes now for the first time, and for those of you that don't out there, obviously at the live show, if you're listening, you've listened. But who don't know what's going on, Orochimaru is like the big bad guy, and he's sort of after Sasuke. We don't really know why, but Dosu realizes now that he's only a pawn for Orochimaru to test Sasuke's power. But still, he's determined to prove his strength. And Choji, he doesn't care about the battle.
He just wants food, bro.
He's just thinking about the all-you-can-eat barbecue. And that's the end of episode 50. That's the end of all the episodes. Guys, what do we think? How are we feeling?
I'm just kind of really mad.
Yeah.
Effort is all that you can give.
Mm-hmm.
When like the people that are like, oh, I never studied for a test in high school. I didn't have to, and then I got like 99.
For quoting you.
Like those, I very heavily relate
Yeah.
to Lee because he has to work so hard,
Yeah.
and even then
It wasn't enough.
it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
But it was because even at the end, he was still
And
fighting.
that's my biggest thing is like, fuck this shit, dude. Like, Lee beat Gaara in my
Gaara's a
opinion.
bitch.
Yeah, Gaara's a bitch.
Like,
Yeah.
Just
Gaara's
uses his
the
sand.
hardest one he could have possibly been put up
Absolutely.
against.
Lee
Like,
would have bodied Neji. He would have bodied
he would have beat
Sasuke.
anyone else he fought.
Yeah, for
100%.
sure.
Like-
Yeah. Fucking putting a kid up against Gaara isn't fair.
Yeah, because Gaara's he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
He just stood.
And it should have been like, they should have fucking intervened. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't
Yeah.
fair at all.
The sand was basically intervening for Gaara.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
So there was
Guy
such a
intervening
long-
did nothing compared to the sand.
After he had completed the Hidden Lotus,
Uh-huh.
I feel like they should have called it there.
Yeah.
Gaara was down.
Yeah.
The moment before he raised his hand to do the fucking sand coffin or whatever,
Yeah.
they should have called it there.
But I think Lee was also on the ground at that point is the only thing.
Which is why they should have called it.
Oh, and been like, all right, we have to stop this
Yeah.
match. Yeah. You're probably right. And maybe Gaara should just be disqualified for his shitty attitude.
Yeah, well, that's
Frankly.
Bad sportsmanship. Fuck that
Yeah,
guy.
I
seriously.
wanted Lee to win so bad.
Yeah, no, and it's really sad that he didn't. Also, just one little note. Why the fuck does Guy look so weird in 48?
yeah, no,
He's
he did.
very defined.
Yeah, it's the best animated episode, but they keep showing like really detailed shots of his face when he's like, "Let's go, Lee!" But the camera like swirls around his face, and you see like his snot flying and everything. All right, do you guys have any other thoughts about these episodes or anything?
Oh, they're so fucking beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good.
I mean, there's a reason that these are
I
like.
was not disappointed. Well, I was disappointed with the outcome, but I was not disappointed
Oh, yeah.
with the episode.
Yeah, if there's
Yeah.
any like takeaway, the ending of the last episode, Dosu Choji, didn't need to be a thing. That should have.
Yeah, that should have been the next
Like,
episode.
Kakashi
should-
That was just such an
So
awkward
ending the way the episodes ended,
I
not
feel like the
so
way they
good.
were cut up too was just weird.
Yeah,
but like,
def.
You gotta fit it in.
But that's like a problem Naruto suffers throughout the entire series, is
That's
that they
true.
could have
Yeah.
put a bunch of episodes together.
well, to
well,
be
but
fair,
I feel
it's-
like this took a good amount of time. It was just where they decided
Yeah.
to end the
Yeah.
episode and start a new
Yeah.
one was just
Well, it's hard to
strange.
cut like a
exactly,
masterpiece.
exactly.
You
It's
Yeah,
that
that's
nasty
true.
ass Cartoon Network 20-minute time slot they gotta fit into, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all in all, there's a reason
Fantastic,
these
yeah.
are like the most iconic episodes in the
yeah.
whole show.
Oh my gosh.
All
they're
right,
so
so that's pretty much it for the NaruTalk live show. I want to give a huge thanks to Austin, who is right there, and he's out in the audience, and he's the big thanks to Austin. Yeah, for real. He's the head of Anime Club, and he's like a big reason that a lot of this happened. Of course, Nick Astor. He's not here right now, but let's still clap for Nick Astor anyway.
Legend.
Really
The
good
best.
stand up and everything. And of course, for our tuning tier patrons out there, we thank them every episode. One of them's here right now, Nina Kelly.
The fucking best. Just the best person.
And Dave Mata, who couldn't be here because he has 4 kids and a family.
Shout out Dave.
He'd be here if he could.
Shout out his kids.
Thank you everybody so much for coming.
You're all wonderful people. Thank
yes,
you for being
and
here.
as always, be safe, have fun, believe it. That's it. Thanks everybody. Thank you so much. And with that, we are at the end of the first ever NaruTalk live show. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. We definitely had an absolutely amazing time. Again, like, huge thanks to absolutely everybody who came out and helped and was there and supported us. Austin Coppola, the head of the Anime Club, who helped to get everything set up. Nick Astor, who did the pre-show stand-up performance for us, which we may be putting out later. I'm not super sure yet, but he opened for us while we were there. And, of course, as always, every week, big thanks to our tuning tier patrons, Dave Mata and Nina Kelly, who actually, Nina Kelly was able to come out and see the show. So big thanks to them and everybody and all of our patrons, of course. If you'd like to let us know what you think of the podcast, the episode, tell us how you liked the live show. You know, I'm really curious to see what you guys thought. You can reach us at the following places. Our Gmail is narutalkpod@gmail.com. Our Facebook is NaruTalk, the Naruto ShipPodcast. Our YouTube is NaruTalkPod on YouTube. You know, you just look that up. Our Instagram and Twitter are both at NaruTalkPod. You can use hashtags like NaruTalkPod or NaruTalk or, you know, whatever. It all probably helps. I don't really know how hashtags work, but our website is www.narutalk.wordpress.com, and our Patreon is that's how websites start, but patreon.com/NaruTalkPod. That is, that's what makes the podcast possible. So if you can, throw us $1 or $2 to help support us. There are tiers on our Patreon. At $2, you can get into our Discord, which has actually a lot of people now. It's really taking off. It's pretty fantastic. So that's only $2, and then the $5 tier, you get bonus episodes. $10, you get to suggest what a bonus episode's about. You keep getting more as it goes up, but any amount of money is appreciated, and so is just your any support, you know what I mean? Links for all that stuff is in the description below. Please like, subscribe, rate, whatever you do, wherever you are. It's really appreciated. If you're listening in the podcast app, you can leave us a 5-star review without even leaving the app. It's right there, right? It's super easy. And we read one of those out usually on episodes. I don't want to read one out now because, I'm not with everybody else, and I feel like that's part of the fun, but usually we read out a 5-star review, so leave one of those, and everyone will hear it, even if it's negative, With 5 stars, I always read it. But tell your friends about the podcast. That's a great way to get new listeners and maybe convert them, who knows, into Naruto fans or fans of the podcast. Whatevs, man, And big thanks, as always, to Glenn Federico for our logo and our, cover art, and Ali Caruso, who does the episode art usually. And, all right, next Monday, we're going to be covering episodes 51, 52, and 53. Let us know what you think of those if you watch ahead. And, once again, huge thanks to everyone who came to the live show. It was, it really meant a lot to me to have everybody out there, and it was really something special. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully we'll do a lot more of them in the future. Maybe even be able to, go places where our listeners are, go to a couple big cities. Who knows what the future holds. But until then, thank you all so much for listening, and as always, be safe, have fun, believe it.